analysis, financial modeling, cost benefits, project feasibility, multi-party funding mechanisms, life cycle costs. It's important. You need to have the cost of your project over the life cycle, not just over the construction, because you need to run, you are building the roads to use it. So that aspect of using it is an important part of the project life cycle. And you need to identify social, environmental impacts at the beginning and monitor them for the life of the project. And then, of course, social scientists evaluate social impacts, community needs, stakeholder engagement, stakeholder involvement in doing the project. The stakeholder might not just be a financial contributor, but he has to have buy-in. The stakeholders, their projects and beneficiary communities need to have buy-in. They need to accept your project. Otherwise, you have the project sitting there, and the community is sitting there watching your projects. We call that a white elephant. In other words, you have a disconnect from the project with the community. It might, if it's not obvious to you, just imagine you do an irrigation project. One of my projects, Kano River irrigation projects, is about 22,000 hectares of irrigation. Imagine the thousands of family units that are involved in doing that. And imagine that you go to design that irrigation project without considering the social factors, land holding factors, the economy, the cultural centers. The farmers actually need to organize themselves and as water users community for your project to work. Otherwise, the project can be there, multi-billion-dollar project, and the people just don't understand it, or they don't relate it, or they just don't like it because of the way that it has been presented to them. That doesn't bring development, which is what we want to get out of our project. The next one I just mentioned, multidisciplinary dimensional approaches, some of the imperatives. You need to have integrated project teams to design your project and run your projects for the life cycle. And you need to ensure effective coordination that facilitates diverse inputs throughout the life cycle from different professionals. Every architectural drawing is also being reviewed by structural engineers, by services engineers, and so on. And if there are any changes, it's like on the platform of BIM. The changes are reflected there and seen in real time by other professionals who then put in their own adjustments to cope with this. So at any time, you're up to date, not only during design, but during construction and during operation and maintenance. Then stakeholder engagement, that should be a specialty we have in our offices, involving stakeholders. Then collaborative tools, build software and platforms that facilitate real-time communication. And then continuous learning. More than anyone, consulting engineers should be ready to learn every day, because every day you are building new projects. You learn not only from your project, you are the creator and designer of project, but you learn from the projects. You learn from the stakeholders, you learn from the community, because next time you must design and run a better project. Then scenario planning. Scenario planning is develop and analyze multiple scenarios to anticipate and plan for various outcomes and impacts. There are many challenges. We keep talking about multidisciplinary, multidimensional approaches. There have always been challenges. Some of the historical challenges of consulting engineering is we still, in some cases, have conflicts with our colleagues, quantity surveyors, who believe that your project should not be your project, it should be QS. Why should you design a refinery and cost it? You should just design a refinery and hand it over to QS, and we cost it. But you know, as a services engineer, from experience, that you jeopardize your project when you hand over your design to your QS to do your costing. Because they are just not realistic. They are not the professionals in that. You can't have, I know, for instance, I can't design a dam and irrigation and ask the QS to do the costing, because he doesn't understand what is irrigation engineering. So the reason is people are still thinking in isolated silos. you can't, even as an engineer, you can't deliver a project all by your own. That is an engineer, let alone QS or architects or anybody in the built profession. So the solution is to foster a culture of open communication and use collaborative tools. The challenge of balancing diverse perspectives and interests, and the solution is establish clear goals, clear roles and clear responsibilities, and use participatory decision-making process. You are leading that process. You are not ceding your power as an engineer to anybody, but you are at the lead. That is what we want. We want to lead this process. We want to lead even, I used to sit in farmer participatory irrigation meetings and discuss with farmers, and you learn a lot from where this block of irrigation plots should be here and not there, what is the land issue on that, what are even getting to family historical matters. And if you don't know about these things, some things might get out of control, even in your own engineering. And then integrating multiple dimensions in decision-making. And the solution is use holistic planning frameworks and scenario analysis to evaluate trade-offs and synergies. Like I said, doing the project from construction, implementation to running the project, it is always, it's always been a challenge. And it is, you cannot have a life where there is no challenge. Indeed, new challenges will come out. And if there are no challenges, find them, create them if necessary, because that's the only way you learn. And I go down now to some of the benefits. Some of the benefits of this approach that I've been talking about is that you have improved project outcomes. You have better quality projects, more efficient, more sustainable infrastructure. Stakeholder satisfaction. You have increased acceptance and support from beneficiaries and stakeholders. You can see a fine distinction between stakeholders, who might be those that have an input into the success of the project, and beneficiary communities, who in the end are also your most important stakeholders. Because if they accept it, the project succeeds. If they don't, you have a white elephant. Innovation and creativity, you have to be constantly innovative, looking for new solutions, new technologies from cross-disciplinary collaboration. And then finally, enhancing the project's efficiency in a life cycle context. So what is this life cycle I'm talking about? We have been, even in FIDIC, we've been hearing about this, that you need to nowadays plan your project in the life cycle context. It hasn't taken hold here in Nigeria, because most of the time we think of projects as contracts, award contracts, 3 years, it is finished, you move on to the other one. At a certain point down in history, people will not even know which one is this project. And the project is there. I remember Kaduna-Abuja Highway was, the dual carriageway of it was being constructed in 1990, 1991 at that time. In 2018, it's the contract for the award, for the rehabilitation. So you can say that is like the lifetime of the project, because at the end of that lifetime, you have to do a complete overhaul or rehabilitation. And that is at least 28 years. The optimal time for rehabilitating a road is 20 years. So by the time we came around to awarding the project, it was overdue. So it was really super bad. But the concept of having that project conceived as a life cycle, as a 20-year project, means it doesn't matter whether it is the government that is doing the O&M, or FEMA that is doing the O&M, or it is being concessioned to a contractor. That is the life cycle. And during that life cycle, the concessionaire or whoever it is needs to not only take care of the condition of the road, but take care of other ancillary services like emergency services, like security. like repairs and rehabilitation. All these are part of the project. You don't forget them at the end of the contract. And that is the only way you can get the full reaping of the benefit of the project. So life cycle planning is a holistic approach to designing infrastructure with a focus to optimize the asset's useful life, increase productivity, minimize costs, not only financial costs, but environmental costs throughout the entire life cycle. And in that way, stages of lifespan include right from conception to planning to design, implementation, and then O&M, which is operational maintenance, through to overhaul, to rehabilitate, to dispose or repurpose. That's what happens at the end of the life period. Each stage involves technical considerations, environmental considerations, safety, security, emergency considerations, and every one of these stages, merits that you should give full attention on this aspect. Like I said, key stages of the life cycle starts from stages of conceptual design, design development, consultation, construction, O&M, and end of life. And end of life means manage the disposal or recycle if it is a building, disassembly, or rehabilitate it, or to repurpose it. I want to make a note here that O&M to me is the most significant. I will talk about that later. Life cycle planning and design implementation, that is also a time when you need cross-disciplinary collaboration, continuous improvement, education, and training. The benefits, of course, of life cycle is it ensures better long-term economic returns, better able to handle environmental impact reduction, reduce pollution, greenhouse emissions, cost savings, because when you lower the life cycle costs, life cycle cost it means you don't, at the time of procurement, this is something that is important. At the time of procurement, you go for the lowest bidder. But if you are considering life cycle, you go for not only the lowest bidder, but the one that gives a proposal that ensures minimum life cycle cost. Of course, it can cost you 8 billion for this lowest bidder, but it costs you 10 times that in the first 5 years after completion. So life cycle cost analysis will enable you to identify that, and that really is the only way you can get development. We have so many projects that essentially collapse after a few years because life cycle consideration was not being given the prominence. So it lowers life cycle costs and resource expenses, and nowadays it prepares for environmental regulations. Environmental regulations are here. They are going to get more. In some countries, you cannot get a project admitted or approved without meeting certain strict regulations on environment. You can't meet, if you cannot meet carbon credit emissions regulations, you have to. I have seen recently a case where an oil producing country, because oil production is a heavy carbon emission thing, and they are incurring so much carbon emission credit, deficits, and they have to balance their carbon credit. So some countries are actually going to another country to buy large tracts of thousands of hectares of forest, green forest, pay for them and maintain them as green forest and earn carbon credits so that their project of oil and gas will go. Now this is happening elsewhere. Since we are looking at the future here, these are the things we should know that can happen in the near future. If Nigerian government is not serious about it, for instance, international regulations will come to apply. So it gives us a market advantage. It appeals to eco-conscious consumers and investors, and better capacity in dealing with security, health emergencies during the life period of the project. So in doing all this, how do we prepare the next generation? I believe maybe this is not my own task to do here, but we need to throw up the issues, and we need to sit down as a consulting engineering industry and find how do we educate and prepare the next generation of consulting engineers. Many of us here are already an outgoing generation. So, but these are things we need to let the incoming generations to know about it. So we, and education and training has a very big part in this. Curriculum enhancement, including current trends, emerging technologies and sustainability. For the engineering industry, COREN is our own regulator. We look to COREN to ensure that the standards are kept at the forefront so that we are all maintaining the cutting edge. We are, of course, members of COREN. We are not saying we are separate, but we should be there available to COREN, because then COREN will then liaise with educational institutions to ensure that the level of professional training and professional development after graduation is kept at par for the requirements of current infrastructure. Mentorship and collaboration, that is the only way that the older firms can get new entrants into the profession to get to grips with what is happening. And I know a lot of my colleagues and senior colleagues in the profession that have done a lot in developing these concepts of multidisciplinary and so on. I know some senior colleagues of mine where you have people that are non-engineers going up to the top of the management. That is realization that the multidisciplinary requirement is important. So I move to conclusions. And just to say, emerging trends in the consulting engineering industry bring huge challenges, but they also bring huge opportunities. If I were to choose, I will need an environment of more challenges, because that gives you huge opportunities. If we want to remain in the cutting edge, we should solve problems. The key to future success remains a continued quest for professional excellence, a culture of multidisciplinary teams within our firms, but also a culture of partnership with other professions, both within and outside the built environment disciplines. The lawyers, the financiers, finance experts, social scientists, and so on. And all this with a clear mind and a clear-minded focus on delivering smart, effective infrastructure in a clean, greener, and sustainable way. That is the future. I also see good prospects for firms, and I will say this particularly in the context of my recent experience as head in FEMA, and that is on the issue of O&M. And I would say that firms that would pay attention to the most important aspects of infrastructure lifespan would have better prospects. What is that most important? In my view now, in my view that I found out, operation and maintenance of an infrastructure is more important. You find that you build out of the 20 years life cycle of a road, the first 2 years ideally should be in construction, 18 years is for O&M. So are we going to leave that to social scientists or financiers or so on? I mean, again, we should keep the lead. It is the largest period of the life cycle in terms of period length. It also throws up exciting professional challenges of developing solutions to infrastructure maintenance. It also generates the largest job opportunities. For 18 years continuously, you have job opportunities, not only for engineers, but especially for the artisan cadres that support engineering. And that is our interest. And if we know if the engineering industry is being regulated by COREN, but they are not only engineers, but also artisans, technicians, and technologists. Developing those cadres actually supports, that is the backbone support of engineering. And it also has the largest benefits to the economy in terms of durable infrastructure, return on investments on infrastructure. So I will entice my colleagues to look more into while I was in FEMA, there have been few colleague firms that have done some really fantastic job in setting out the framework of managing the rehabilitation of, not just even rehabilitation, because that's at the terminal end, but repair and maintenance, proactive maintenance, and regular periodic maintenance on roads, because You can imagine if you lengthen the life cycle of a road by 2 years, and instead of the road getting just totally collapsed by 20 years, by 22 years, in monetary terms, economic terms, you can imagine how much cost you would have saved. Abuja, Kaduna, Kano road, at the present estimate, is probably at about 800 billion. It was awarded in 2018 at 155, but there have been reviews and reviews and reviews. And I don't allude to what people will say, oh, it's corruption. No. Building infrastructure everywhere is expensive. Some of the expenses on our projects have to do with the risks, because anybody who is bidding has to consider, essentially, the bid process is Thank you, almost finished anyway. The risks associated in Nigeria may be different. Security risks, sovereign risks, payment risks, and all these bidders that come to bid have these risks. They have to evaluate them, and that is what essentially makes the project to be more expensive. So what I am saying essentially is, if you spend so much money on a road, you want to extend the life period as much of it. And I'm giving a lot of these examples on the road sector because it is a major infrastructure, and also it's somewhere that I've been to recently with extensive experience. So opportunities will continue to grow within the industry as more technologies will continue to emerge and engineers will adopt and embrace the current trends. Collaboration between the industry and academia is critical, talking about preparing the next generation. And finally, I will say it again for the umpteenth time, consulting engineers should play lead roles in infrastructure of the future in order not only to cover our interests, but to ensure sustainable and a prosperous future. And I thank you very much for listening.
A standing ovation, please. A round of applause, please. A round of applause. To our keynote speaker, that was a very insightful presentation. Your expertise and depth of knowledge on this topic were truly impressive. Thank you so much, sir. So there will be an award for that. Please sit. Kindly sit, sir. There will be an award for that. We have reached a very special part of this program where we'll be inviting the president of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria in person of Engineer Kamsalem A. Buga to present an award to the keynote speaker. Yes, to present a plaque, please. It's to say. It's a plaque, okay.
Okay. I think for the importance of the keynote speaker who I initially said that he happened to be our past president, I think I should be supported. I believe the House will agree with me that by the entire ESCO, my immediate past president, the vice president, and then last but not the least, the chairman organizing committee, to present this heavy award to our keynote speaker, Engineer Nuruddeen Rafindadi, fellow Nigeria Society of Engineers, fellow Academy of Engineering, officer, Federal Republic. It was quite, as said,
it's too easy for you to deliver it. Too easy.
Yes. The Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, ACEN, presented to Engineer Nuruddeen Rafindadi, FNSE, FNSE, and then Officer Federal Republic. Today's keynote speaker at the 2024 Extraordinary General Meeting, 24 July 2024. This plaque of honor to accept and serve as our keynote speaker. Sir, congratulations.
Come, he didn't hesitate.
Yes.
Thank you, President. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our keynote speaker for that amazing address that you've given us. I've just been informed that we have a team of engineers which is from the MNSE Castina EXO branch, and they are being led by the chairman in person of Engineer Mustafa Sada. If you are here, can you please stand so that we can appreciate your presence? Oh, a round of applause for him, sir. And also your team members, can they also rise so that we can also appreciate them? Oh, thank you so much. We really honor and appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. So if you check the program outline, which is the time, you agree with me that we've not been following it, and I mean, I believe it's because of what we are also talking about, which is future trends. And I believe engineers can also do better so that we don't start events late and we can follow the time schedule that we have. So I think we'll be having our goodwill messages for now. John, please, can you please coordinate that?
Okay, I'd like to call on the representative of the current president in person of Alhaji Mustafa Aminu to please come forward for his goodwill message.
Thank you, sir. So just for like 2 minutes, sir. We would love if you can do that in 2 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. President, sir, other members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mustafa Abdullahi Aminu, representing Professor Sadiq Abubakar, the President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. Though they say 2 minutes, but President has sent his key, he's not here, on behalf of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. The Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, on the occasion of 2024 Extraordinary General Meeting of the Association for Betterment of the Nation. The theme of this year meeting, Future Trends in Engineering and Infrastructure, is a welcome idea for promoting the infrastructure that will require greater elaboration, new funding mechanisms, innovations, regulations, new construction techniques, broader skills sets, and more than anything, which is the country at the moment needs to move from the level we are now. The construction industry is one of the major sectors. Koran is entrusted with the regulation and accreditation of engineering education, training, practice of engineering in Nigeria, along with other regulators like Carbon, ACON, etc. The future trend in engineering and infrastructure lies on the sustainability, digitalization, efficiency, practice, and technology advancement. Presently, Koran has been restructured, as we are talking about the future. It has been restructured and reformed to enable discharge its mandate more effectively. This includes the establishment of several regional offices in all the geopolitical zones. We have one in Lagos, while the others in each geopolitical zone, which Kano, with me as the regional officer. The President says, let me inform you that Koran has identified 10 focal sectors, which include oil and gas, mining, maritime, telecommunication, power, manufacturing, construction, aviation, and aerospace, agro-allied, and transportation sectors to achieve this vision. It is imperative that Koran register it is present in all states of the Federation. Koran state offices serve as the relying point for all key stakeholders for the engineering family members, technologists, technicians, craftsmen, and artisans. It is believed that the ACEN has critical role in preferring engineering solutions to these and other issues. Therefore, adding to value engineering and enhancing the future of trends in engineering and infrastructural development and economic growth by collaborating with other organs of engineering. As you all gather today for the 2024 Extraordinary General Meeting of the Association, we urge all members to seize this opportunity to extend valuable knowledge, share experience, and force the course of engineering to higher level. Mr. President says, I would like also to use this avenue to invite you to the 32nd Engineering Assembly, which is scheduled from Monday 5th to Wednesday 7th August 2024 at this day Doom Center, Central Business Area, Abuja, with the team Regulating Profession for Shared Prosperity in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so for other goodwill messages, we'll appreciate if you can please make it very concise and brief because of our time. So I'd like to call up the representative of MNSE President in person of Engineer Ibrahim Usman Dederi. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you very much, the MCs. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The chairman of this occasion, I would like to seek for your indulgence to observe the already established protocols. My name is once again Engineer Ibrahim Usman Dederi, FNSE. I'm standing here before you in my capacity as the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Kano branch. And I think the second one, and most important one, is the representative of the NSE president, Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, FNSE. And I think quickly I would like to make mention that the president requests the ACEN, members of ACEN to bear with her. She will have loved to be here physically before you for this all important occasion, but because of other exigencies of work, she could not be able to do that. I want to quickly commend the organizing committee. Alhamdulillah, Kano is school today for bringing the EGM, this sets EGMs to Kano. We are very proud to host their EGM. And as chairman of NSE Kano branch, I would like to let you know we are going to continue to support you throughout your days for the AGM. And we are going to continue to ensure that we give you the enabling environment for the collaboration to continue. And quickly also, I would like to commend the organizing committee for organizing the event. And I said lastly, our revered keynote speaker, whom we respect too much, the immediate past MD of PEMA. Your speech has been very commendable and wonderful, although very technical somehow, but I'm sure the message has passed across. I would like to make mention that in the last 5 or 6 years or so, I was fortunate to coordinate a project in water sector here in Kano, being funded by an international funding organizations. And I think as the project coordinator, I was concerned for the fact that very few consulting engineers participate in the bidding process. We procured 5 consultants under the project, and out of the 5, only 1 is an indigenous consultant, which happens to be the project auditors. But all other, engineering segments were being executed by foreign consultants. I'm sure not because I wouldn't want to even use the word of incapable, but because maybe we need more collaborations. Because from the experience, what makes most of the indigenous consulting firms to fail to meet up with the requirements is the issue of financial and turnover issue. So really there is need for our indigenous consultants to continue to form consortium. And by the end of the day, you'll be glad to note that the detailed engineering design consultant, who happens to be a company, a foreign company, I wouldn't want to mention the country, were unable to deliver the project as required. So we have to somehow engage the indigenous consultants, to continue from where they stop. And we are seeing the light of the day now. So really the collaboration is very, very important, and we are concerned that we engineers, it is our responsibility to take the lead in the provision of infrastructure in our country. Quickly, without taking much of our time, like I said earlier when I'm presenting the Madam President, so I'm going to go through quickly. Yes. Okay, too.
All right, sir.
But I'm sure Madam President will not be happy if really you do not allow me to go through the.
Okay, so
How tight are you
the
in terms
thing
of
is
time?
Because of time, but we have this. We will get the soft copy and send.
Madam President,
okay,
I'm sure
so
will
the
not be happy
president
if you are
has given
delivering.
us grace that you can do this in 2 minutes.
So thank you. 2 minutes, Lord. Thank you very much. So like I was saying, the Madam President has her, speech already, or goodwill message. So I would like to quickly go through. Where I say I am referring to Madam President, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Council and entire membership of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, MNSE, I bring you warm greetings and sincere best wishes on this special occasion of the 2024 Annual General Meeting of the Association of Consulting Engineers of Nigeria, ACEN. The theme of this year's discourse being future trends in engineering and infrastructure is not only timely, but also essential as we navigate through an era marked by rapid technological advancement and significant economic challenges. The latest trends we are seeing today is engineering and infrastructure, which are smart cities and sustainable construction to the integration of artificial intelligence and renewable energy sources are redefining our profession. These advancements hold immense promise for transforming our society, making it more resilient, efficient, and sustainable. Again, given the current economic adversity, our role becomes even more critical in the development of infrastructure, which is the backbone of any economy. And as consulting engineers, we have the expertise to design and implement projects that can drive economic growth. Through innovative solutions, we can address the infrastructural deficit that is hindering the progress of our people, create jobs, and improve the quality of life for our fellow citizens. As we discuss future trends, let us not forget the importance of investing in the next generation of engineers, young engineers. Providing quality education, training, and mentorship is critical. It's crucial to ensure that our young engineers are equipped with skills needed to tackle future challenges. They are the ones that will carry forward the legacy of our profession and drive innovations of tomorrow. This EGM presents a unique opportunity for us to exchange ideas, share knowledge, and forge partnerships that will drive our industry forward. By leveraging our collective expertise and vision, we can ensure that the future trends in engineering and infrastructure are aligned with our national development goals and contribute to the prosperity and well-being of all Nigerians. I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers of this prestigious event. Your dedication and advancing knowledge in engineering practice and education is commendable and aligns perfectly with the mission of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, MNICE, particularly with their focus in crucial area that affects our people, is commendable. Worried, we have therefore taken the step to use the opportunity of our 2024 National Engineering Conference, which will hold between 18th and 21st of November 2024, to discuss the matter of food security. The theme of this year's conference is Sustainable Engineering Solutions to Food Security and Climate Change. Over 6,000 practicing engineers in the academia and industry, as well as other development stakeholders, quality formulators, captains of industries, and entrepreneurs, especially in the oil and gas industry and food security value chain from across Nigeria and other parts of the world are expected at the conference. The event offers the auspicious prospect for participants to network with investors, technical and financial experts for sustainable collaborations. The conference also has a grand exhibition for industry, industry players in various sectors of the infrastructure value chain to showcase products and expertise to the world. I'm using this opportunity to invite all members of NSE and other development stakeholders to take advantage of the early bird window to register for the conference. I encourage you to check out the NSE website at nsc.org.ng for more details. I wish us fruitful deliberations. Engineer Margaret Anna Aguntana, FNSE, President and Chairman of Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for the President. NSE, thank you so much, sir, for that. We appreciate our NSE President for the wonderful speech. So, our members, please be rest assured that we have soft copies of these goodwill messages, and it will be sent to all participants here. Shortly, we'll still have like one or two more messages, but I would like to make an announcement that because we understand that some people here would like to ask our keynote speaker, Engineer Rafindadi, some questions, but ideally, we don't take questions during this session. But so that we can encourage them, we've been asked that we can have this written down so that the technical committee can collate and send to the keynote speaker. Then, of course, we'll get a response afterwards. Then, secondly, please, for the people coming up for the goodwill messages, we want to implore you to please make it brief, because after now, we have the tea break, and the tea break will just be for like 25 or 30 minutes so that we can catch up with other things we have. Thank you so much. John?
Before we proceed, I'd like to recognize the presence of our members who have joined online. I don't know if they want to say hello to us here. Okay, let's proceed. The next person we'll be calling on stage is the past president of FNSE, the past president of NSE, Engineer Mohammed Babagana, to come forward and give his goodwill.
A round of applause for our president. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Please permit me to stand on the well-established protocols. But two things here. Please stand back and look who is sitting by your side. Just look at who is sitting by your side. That's done. Good. You see, whatever I want to say, or somebody wants to say, has been said by Rafindadi. Has been said. Future trend in engineering and infrastructure. Apt. Very timely. Very timely. One thing that he has not added was character. Character. Very key. I said, all of you should look around you. Ordinarily, I was told to come here and talk. I don't even want it. But my Majesty, my senior brother, he said, I must talk. Because you asked me to talk, I will talk. Character. Very key. Whatever good you want to do, there must be character. If not, forget about all these good things that Rafindadi has said. Gone. Who is Rafindadi? He may not be very handsome, okay? He must not be too fat, very okay. But one thing you cannot take away from Rafindadi is he is very upright. And then, is he handsome? I don't know. Look Enuga here. Look Jide. Look Kunle. Look even the smallest Kamsulum. They are all upright. That's what I want people to talk about. And once you have people who are upright in leadership, things will work. But if you don't have people who are upright in leadership, nothing will work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so lastly, I'll be calling on Builder Al-Hassan Ibrahim to come forward for his goodwill message.
And just to add that Builder Al-Hassan is representing the chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, in person of Builder Samson A. Opalua. You're welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of my chairman, Dr. Samson Ame Opalua, PhD, Chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. I read, I bring to you greetings from the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, Kobon, and our chairman, engineer, and builder, Samson Ame of Alua, FNSE, FNIOB, FANG, who is one of your own. I feel honored to be part of this conference with the theme Future Trends in Engineering and Infrastructure. Already what Rafindadi has done, he has dissected his point, because on the future trend, he observed it means future trend is going to become the new norm in Nigeria. And already Nigerian engineers have led us into the emergence of green building, resilient engineering design, and that will challenge climate change. And he said also, let him draw attention of the conveners of the meeting. Let us retrospect into the menace in the construction industry called collapsed building. Already Rafindadi has made a mention on this. So he asked if this could be retrospect into, because it's still the role of the engineers to provide solution to this menace. On the last note, he observed another Rafindadi from Department of Economics, Ahmad Bello University, Zaria, in a recent retreat by builders there. He made mention from independence to date that infrastructure development has been the bulk contributor to the economy because of the volume of the construction in the country. To that end, the meeting concluded that construction industry deserve a place like Manufacturer Association of Nigeria for the continuous engagement, because if that engagement is ensured, what Rafindadi has observed, that means the engineer Rafindadi I'm saying, will not be with the projects in Nigeria, because you have collapse project, you have project exceeding its lifespan, it's not even completed. So the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, as it acknowledges the future trend in engineering and infrastructure, is a timely theme for the conference, but also wish the meeting to look back into prospering solution into our collapsed infrastructure, or rather collapsed infrastructure, because it has become a norm now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. So shortly we'll be going for the tea break, but before we do that, I would like to recognize the presence of Engineer Usman Tijani, FNSE, MNI, and who is the branch chairman NSE in Maiduguri. I understand that he's here with some of his members. So if you are here, sir, can you please stand for recognition? Thank you so much. A round of applause. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Maiduguri. We appreciate you. Okay, if you can come around, sir, the Engineer Usman Tijani, I have the permission of the president to have you come speak to us for like 2 minutes before we go for the tea break. Engineer Usman Tijani, if you are here, sir, or if you have someone to represent, okay, just for 2 minutes, sir. A round of applause for him as he comes forward, please. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. So while we are waiting for him, I would just like to make an announcement. So once he's done with his goodwill message, the president will lead other members on the high table for the tea break. And I got an information from the chairman that we should try and make this brief because we still have amazing sessions ahead. Thank you so much. A round of applause for the chairman, NSE branch, Maiduguri. You're welcome, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name's Engineer Usman Tijani, FNSE MNI. I'm the chairman, NSE Maiduguri branch. First and foremost, I led the delegations, and because of the importance we attach to this EGM, yesterday we left Maiduguri around 5 p.m. and we reached here Kano around 11:30 p.m. So that shows the importance we attach to this occasion. And before I do any other thing, I would like all the team I led from Maiduguri, the NSE members from Maiduguri, to please stand off for recognition very well, because you have not been recognized very well. So you can see that we consumed almost half of the whole. So I think with this, yeah, sit down. So thank you very much once again for giving me this opportunity to say one or two things. All has been said and done. I don't have anything much to say, rather than say I wish us a very successful and fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And as we all can see, there's something called home advantage. And I'm sure that we've seen that come to play now. Thank you so much, dear members. Thank you, our members joining online. We believe that you've been finding this so interesting and exciting. So under the permission of the president, sir, the president is going to lead the delegates on the eye table for the tea break session, and afterwards we all can follow. So we've made arrangements for dining arrangements there, so we can just have our food, our drinks, and our tea, and just make use of the space there. And we would like to implore us to make this so brief, so that in the next 20 or 30 minutes we are back for the concluding side of this. President, sir. Yes, so this is 11:35 now. We would like if you can be back by 12 p.m. so that we can conclude this. Thank you so much once again. We appreciate your presence. Thank you.